Imagine a new lead fills out your form, and within seconds, your AI voice assistant calls them, captures intent, and updates your CRM automatically. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to build that with fillout.com, Make, Airtable, and Vapi. Alright, so now we're going to be going through a test run, going through the entire process that if you want to make it to the end of the step-by-step guide, you can build. But I'm just showcasing the functionality of it for right now. So first you start off with this form that a potential lead would contact this business with. They just go on their website, take them to this form, and then if they want to get in touch, they'd fill out this form. And the automation goes from there to see if they're a good fit for working with this fake company. So you can put in some dummy data, or I'm going to put in some dummy data, but usually you put in real data if you're actually trying to fill this thing out. So let's go with test. And I'm just going to put in my real phone number because it actually uses that to call the potential client or sales team that's trying to work with us. Put in your company name. And all this information that you're putting in is either being used to contact the lead or help the voice assistant on their call. It'll give them more information to work with. Maybe they can do a background check beforehand if you want to add more onto this AI automation. But we're not going to go too in depth on that. But there's a lot of possibilities and a lot more you can add on to this whole automation. We're just going to be doing a beginner version. So you can just put in chatbots, sales team, just dummy data. And then that'll go through here. What it is create a record. Now we're going to take a call here from the voice assistant that we've already set up. All right, so here's the call.
Hey, Liam, it's Ben from Petal AI. Is now a good time to talk?
Yeah, now's a good time to talk.
Great, thanks for taking the time. So, Liam, can you tell me a bit about your business, what industry you're in, the size of your team, and anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, we're in the debt collection agency. We have about 10 people, and yeah, that's about it.
Got it, Liam. Thanks for sharing. So, can you give me an outline of the AI solution you're interested in getting built for your business? What kind of problem are you looking to solve? Or what process are you hoping to improve?
We're trying to get chatbots for my sales team so they can organize information better.
That sounds like a great idea, Liam. Right now, we're only accepting projects that can be built and delivered on another platform called Agentive. This approach helps us reduce development hours significantly, and we pass those savings on to you. Since your project is a chatbot, it fits perfectly with what we can offer. I'll email you a link to book a call with Josh, Stone's business partner, and our COO here at Petal AI. He'll dive deeper into your project, ask more specific questions, and help determine feasibility and rough costs to get you the results you're after. I'm really excited to hear how your call goes. Everything is good to go on my end, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
And that would be the end of the call completing. Goes to this diagram and takes in the information that it took from that call, realized it was a successful call, stored some information for later, and then sent out an email, which I'll show, that basically sets up a discussion with my sales team. If they're interested and they click the link. And so as referenced in the automation, it set up the Airtable, this whole lead qualification voice assistant table that we have set up here. So it takes in the email and all the information that they put in the fill out form, or fillout.com form, like the first name, last name, notes, company name. Uses the phone number to call the Vapi assistant, the voice assistant, and then just uses all this information. You can use it in many different ways. Just for this automation, or mainly just going to be using the first name, last name, email, and phone. But if you wanted to branch it off, you could use this information in multiple different ways. And also we can see if they're interested, and I'll just say true. means they're a good fit for the company and that they're interested in getting the email to have a sales call and have the sales team come contact them and see what deals would happen after that. Here's the 5-step process. Number 1, lead submits to fillout.com. Number 2, make scenario number 1, catches the submission, writes the Airtable, and calls Vapi via API. Vapi places the call using your assistant, which can just be called whatever, the qualification assistant. Or Vapi posts the call outcome to a make webhook, which is the second scenario, which is always listening for the end of the Vapi call. And 5, scenario number 2, goes to, from that webhook to, if interested, send an email, and then update the Airtable to interested, and if not interested, then just update the Airtable to not interested. Alright, so full disclaimer, we are going to be using a template provided by Liam Ottley. So this is his work for the filloutforms.com, which is the fillout.com form. So it has like the company, the budget, phone, email, all the fields that we're already going to use and put in the Airtable. We're going to get from this thing that we'll later use in the scenarios and make. So definitely huge shout out to him. Alright, so once you have this template downloaded and you know the fillout.com account, go to integrate, and then one of the ones you're going to see here is make. So what you want to do is go to make.com, make an account, and once you're done making an account there, you come back to come back to this screen, integrations, hit make, and then you can hit install on, there should be an install button that shows up right when you do it, and then you're good to go. Alright, so from here, what we want to do is make an Airtable that follows all the points of all the variables that we need to capture. So let's go to build an app for any row, because you don't need how many to do this. It should be pretty simple, pretty easy. Edit this field to first name, work, and keep notes. Honestly, just delete everything else because you don't need it for this project. So I just want to use the single line text for most of these. And just get email, just typing in all the fields you captured. Email, phone. For budget, since we're just doing we're capturing the range, like 5,000 to 10,000 or 10,000 to 15,000, and it's just like a little checkbox basically. I'm just putting that as a long line of text instead of like, if there's a currency field, you don't need to use that. Now, I don't know if it'll confuse it or anything, but I think it's just safer to do that. And also an interested field. So you can see if the client is going to be interested. That's just at the end, it's a little thing I added on. So first name, last name. So once you make all these, then you should be good to go. And alright, so it turns out I forgot one field for the company name. So just add that in here. And after you're done with that, you can order it however you like. I usually put email in the primary field, so actually I think you should do that for this because it is important for the router when you use later in Make to determine if there's duplicates or not, so it doesn't just make a lot of the same email if someone's contacting you multiple times. So that's important for later to make that. And then also you can name your base something like the qualification. voice assistant. Doesn't matter what the name is, but it's kind of what this is, so that works. And next, after you're done building out the table, you want to go to Builder Hub. It should be right next to your profile. Then go to Personal Access Tokens, and then just make one like one of these, like make a create token, hit make, or name it make, whatever you want to name it. And then you want to add a scope, data records read, write. So this makes it so it can actually read the data in your table and also write so it can create new ones. And same thing with schema bases, so it can read and write both of those. And then you want to add a base, add in whatever your assistant's called. For this one, we're doing the Qualification voice assistant. So then hit create token and you're good to go. And then just copy it and hit done. So now that you have that copied, just to make sure the connection works, what you want to go and do next is go to create a new scenario, and just make an Airtable field. This won't be the first one, but just whatever, like insert a record. Then when you go to connection, it's going to need that. You just go to add Airtable token or key, personal access token, and then just copy and paste what you just copied from the Airtable key that you made. So then this will give make all the permissions to access all of those tables. So once you hit that Airtable field, you just want to, after you type in your key, you just want to delete it and go into fill out forms, watch new responses, create the webhook. From here, you can name this whatever, the qualifications, and I'm going to name it. And then add in your connection, hit save. It'll go into this little other screen, just hit authorize on it to make sure that fill out has authorization to contact your fill out forms account. And then should be saved. Contact us 25, choose that. And then as soon as new responses come in, it'll trigger this, which will start the flow, start the make scenario. So next, what you want to do is go to Airtable. And for your base, you just want to hit the Qualification voice assistant table. There you go. Should jump to table 1. And so for we're doing search records. This is like an add-on feature. It's just something you can do. It sorts out the duplicates. So what you want to do is copy and paste this into the formula. Don't select anything for the view or whatever. And this will just detect if there's already the same email already written down in the table, unlike these two. And it should work if you just hit run now. Hit save. It should have data already in the queue, but if it doesn't, then okay, so you want to save, make sure you don't have any other 2 scenarios running at once, because if you're doing the free plan, which is what I'm doing, you can only have 2 scenarios running. So if we go to here, make sure you saved it, and it has immediately this thing to the side. It's activated, so then it should work now as new data comes in, so we can use that as dummy data. So try filling out a second form. Again, just Okay, so the problem I was running into is that I have multiple connections going on, so that's confusing the webhook. Which you guys probably won't have this problem, but just make sure that you hit, I have the data over good, but if you hit run once, and then just make sure this circle's going around, and then go fill out the contact form while you're doing that. Then after you've done that, then it should work. So now that we have that, the Airtable record back and attached, and we can start filling in the information here. Then you just want to hit table 1, search records. So now that we have all this information, we can actually fill in the formula that we wanted to put in earlier. Formula. And just sub out that for the email. Then it should be fine because that's what we're actually looking for in the formula. So that just, that formula, make sure it's whatever the email is, like in capitals or whatever, it comes out to the same exact, like lowercase everything. Make sure the router can read it so it can make sure it's not a duplicate. So then we want to add a router in. Set up a filter, and we can have, okay, so we're not going to fill out that router yet because it's not super important right now. It's just for the duplicates. It's definitely what we want to focus on is next creating or updating a row, depending on whether it's a duplicate or not. So we can just label this filter though, say record is found, or just say records found. So that means there is a duplicate. So what to do is just go to here, go to update a record in Airtable. Make sure I have the right one. Qualification voice system. Go to base, table 1. And then you just want to fill out all of the fields here and update everything, just in case. You know, if someone fills out the form twice, then, like if they messed up anything, then it'll just update all the whole row with the new information that they put in. So just map everything else out. Phone, product description, in notes, project budget, and last name. And this is all just dummy information, so it's not actually going to be used yet. Interested, we don't need to fill out for a while. That'll be at the end. Then record ID, you just want to put in the ID for the record, which you would get from the search records, not the fill out forms thing. So we have to wait for that too. Okay, so we can just leave this as is right now because we don't need to do it. Since we don't have any data in right now, you can we can just leave it for later. So what we want to start off with is create a record because we don't have any records in there right now, so we have to actually make one. So this would just be Qualification voice assistant. Fill all this stuff out as per usual. And then again, you just put everything in here. First name. So then we want to hit save. And that should save all that information into there. So now we set up a filter and we have the ID now, Okay. Interesting. So that's just not working. So we can use the router now. I'm not sure why it's not working for the Airtable, but we can use it to route. See if the ID exists. You just set this to exists. Then it'll go up here, and then if we set up a filter, record not found, then it'll create a new row in the Airtable. So we should put ID in there from right here, and then does not exist, and save that. Alright, so I just filled out the, I just reloaded the page actually, and ID showed up, so you can just put it in here. This is for the updated record. So just if it's not looking right, just reload it, and all these fields should load if the search record's already been called. So you can just put in, take the stuff from the fill out forms and replace it. So actually just put it in from here. I know they're both blue, so it might look a little confusing, but choose from the fill out forms one, not the Airtable one. Description. And then that should be good. And if ID exists, ID exists. So we can test this out now by actually saving this, running, and then filling out a quick form. And there we go, created a record. We should be able to go to Airtable, lead qualification and voice assistant, and here we are. This is all the info I just put in, and now it's in Airtable. So far working as expected. Now the next step of the process is adding another module, HTTP. Go in here, and what we want to do is make a request. And so from here, we're going to go to Vapi to make a request. So we're going to head over to Vapi now and make the agent that's going to take this information in, use it on the call, and then after the call is done, decide based on the call if they need to send an email or if they're not interested at all, the possible client. So what you want to do is go to Vapi.ai and hit sign up, create a new account, register, and then once you get to a screen that looks like the dashboard, right here, go to assistants, create assistant. You can just use a blank template. We can call it lead qualification assistant. And just Benny in parentheses, or Ben in parentheses. And create template. So you can use whatever model you really want here. It doesn't matter too much. The prompt's not going to be that complex. In fact, we're just giving it a script. So there's not that much room for creativity for the whatever model you're using. But I just run the cheapest one, or like semi-cheapest one. Like we can go with this one, mini cluster. That'll work. So how we want to prompt this is, I'll just have this down in the description. But alright, so basically I have to redo this section because my audio actually cut out. So for this bot, for the system prompt, the whole script I can just put it in the description. It's going to be there. But what this generally says is just, hey, the first name of whatever they typed into the fillout.com form. Then it figures out a bit about the business industry size and all that, but it doesn't really matter. You can use that information if you want to add on to this automation and do something else with it. But essentially what this is looking for is if their fine with it being an agentive-based project, and they're interested in a chatbot. If those two things are good, and it like follows the script and goes along, then it will send the email and say success evaluation is a yes. So this will be in the description at the first message too, all this. And then, so to make sure that it can figure out if the call is successful or not, you have to go down to success evaluation, down in analysis. This will also be in the description just because it's pretty easy to type out, but it's also pretty simple. You just copy and paste it. So it's an expert call evaluator. So basically 2 criteria. Did the recipient express interest in receiving a Calendly link? And are they looking for a chatbot? And then if it's a yes on both, then the call is considered successful. And then it'll return. This will be like the first option. We'll go all the way down to the bottom. Hit pass, fail. So if it's successful, true is called. If not, then it's false. And then, yeah, that's that. Then go down to messaging here. All right, so once you go down to messaging, after you done success evaluation, you have to go down to messaging to make sure that you can send the output from this call to webhook. That would be this URL. That would be the webhook URL. So as soon as the call is done, it will send this out. So what you want to do is go to Make, go up to Create New Scenario. And this will be the second scenario just for this one automation. Hit Webhooks and hit Custom Webhook. So what you want to do is add in a webhook. You can call it like something like lead qualification webhook. Something like that. Doesn't really matter too much what you do. Don't want to do that. Just that. Hit save. It'll come up with this link. What you want to do is it'll already start trying to configure it. So just leave that, let that be. Let it go. Hit copy address to clipboard, and I'm going to copy that link into this URL. After you've done that, then you want to come down to here. I already have it filled out because I was already prepared for this, but essentially we'll just have like 3 green little buttons here. Also along the server messages, what you want to do is hit select all, then unselect everything, because if you select anything except end of call report, that's the main one you want to have selected, then it just keeps calling your webhook and spamming you with notifications that you don't need. It could be useful for other projects, but you don't need that right now. And then you should be good to go, as long as it's good. So just hit save. And this should be just listening for that webhook. Whenever the call ends, if you make a call, then it'll send the information to this webhook. Alright, so next you want to add another module, type in data store, and you want to get a record. So this is kind of optional, but we're just building it out because it's also simple to add on. And you can do a lot more with it if you want to add on anything else to the automation. But it just stores some of the key data we get from the call. So it runs through 2 different scenarios and doesn't get lost if you want to use that information. So what you want to do is go back to, just put that in. You're not going to have the key yet. You have to get the information back from the webhook, and then as soon as that's good, then you can put in the key, which would be, we're going to be using the call ID from Vapi. So that'll come through at the end of the call report whenever you make your first call. So you can just save that as is, or you can't, but just hit save. Save anyway. Should be good. And add in data store here behind the Vapi call. And you want to do add a record. And then calls. You won't have anything there, so we're going to go set that up right now. So we want to go from here to set up that data store in Make. So we can transfer between scenarios. You get one free one on the free plan for Make. Is you want to go to More and hit Data Stores. You can save changes. Save anyway, it's fine. And then it won't look like this. It'll just be blank. Alright, so you're going to get to a screen that looks like this. And what you just want to call it is calls. And then start editing from here. And so what you can have is all these fields. These are not preloaded. I just already have this filled out. But I'll just fill it out for you here. Just to show you what it's like. Just record ID. You don't have to change the type or anything. It's all just going to be text. Call ID. So record ID is going to be for the Airtable. That's the record ID for the specific row that you're filling in. And that call ID is from Vapi. That is for the specific call that's happening. Each different call is a different record or different call ID. And then you want to get the success evaluation. And then these are just for why not. You have created that and sent that. That can be useful for, you know, if you're doing other things adding on to this automation, but for our purposes we don't really need that information, but it's just there. Save that. Okay, so now we can use these this call called calls, and we can't use this quite yet because we need the call ID back. That'll be the key. Alright, and to set up that call ID, we're going to take the URL from Vapi, which is just this. It's their API call. It's a post, since we're posting this to them, and then that'll then call the number. For the header, you want the name to be authorization. Make sure you spell that right, because that's important. And then the value would be bearer. And then your API key. You don't want to type in your API that exactly. You want to type, you want to go to Vapi to get your API key. Go to here, hit copy ID on your private ID, or private key. Come back, and then paste it in. And that's how it should look. Then we go to body type, you hit raw, content type, application / JSON, and request content. So what we're going to do here is basically, it's a little techy, a little bit of code, but again, I'm just going to put it in the description. It's not that hard to understand. I can explain it. This is just your assistant ID, so you'd place yours in here. So your assistant ID, then the phone number ID. You'd also paste that into here. So it'd be your phone number ID. And then all this stuff you can get from whatever's in your Airtable or whatever it may be. So for the search record, now I just be from fill out forms, you just put that into here. So first name, company, or actually you can use the create record because that'll be the same exact thing. But it doesn't matter too much, whichever one you want to use. Company name. Yeah. And Airtable ID. So then the Airtable ID you get from the search records, or actually you can do create a record. That's where you get it for this one. And there you go. So the number would also just be phone number right here. So what you put in all those values and copy this in, you should be good to go. So to get, these are both placeholders, you obviously don't type this in exactly. To get your assistant ID, what you do is go to your assistant, and to this right below the name, you hit the copy, and it'd be all these numbers. And then you just paste that right into here. Just gonna do that. And phone number ID, you can actually make your own phone number on Vapi, which is kind of why I like it. Just going to here, I already have mine. I'm just gonna blur it out there, but this is what you want to hit. This will copy your phone number ID. Don't type in your actual number. That won't do anything. Computer can't read it. You gotta go right here and hit the copy button. And then paste it in here. So now that you have both of those, you should be good to go. Just save that. And it should work as intended. Alright, everything should be working for the most part. Just hit this with save. Except for this, but that's fine. We can just unlink this. So we want to fill out this form again. Come back to contact us. Make sure you have that open because you're going to have to probably fill this out multiple times just to make sure you get it right. Go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Test at example2.com. Random. Actually, you don't actually want to type in your real phone number here, or whatever phone number will work for you. You could use a Skype number, whatever works. And then just type in whatever you want for everything else. Alright, so it turns out everything wasn't working exactly as expected because I missed one more header that you have to add in here, which is content type and then application JSON. And then we should be good to go here. So I'm just going to try that one more time. Alright, so what you can go from here, after you make the successful call, you go to here. You can use data, this should be the call ID. You want to use that as the key, just because it's different for every call, so it'll be different for every data store. Record ID, we can just use the Airtable create a record, the one before this. Call ID, same thing. Data, success evaluation, that you don't need to worry about yet. Created that, sent that. That also you don't need to worry about, so you just mainly need the record ID, the call ID, and the call ID is the key. And then save it from there. Okay, another slight correction. You don't want to put this data, just that in general, in the call ID, or use that as the key. You want to get the data, then ID below that. And that's the call ID. That's the one you want to use. Because then this won't actually connect to this, because those are two different things. These is now the same, but it was two different things, so you just have the data in there. So make sure you do that, so the data stores don't not connect with each other. Alright, so once you have that, you'll come back into your other scenario 2, your webhook. And what you got on is a data store. And you want to get a record. Choose calls. Use the key. From the key, you're going to get the information you got from the webhook if you set it up right. You get all that information back. You're going to message. You're going to analysis. And then use success evaluation. Actually, no. It would be the data, which would be the call ID. Put that in, and that should get you all the information you need out of there. And then there's nothing in there right now because I didn't successfully complete the call the right way. But as long as you do that, then all the information will get filled and it'll look fine. So then you want to get a router. And set up a filter. And ChatGPT made this little code thing for me that basically detects whether or not the actually, no, I already did that. Success evaluation would just be. Okay, so what you want to do is go to analysis, and then get success evaluation, and then you can save it from there. You don't want to put it in a data store. That won't work most of the time. Put success evaluation, so it'll come out true or false, and then this should actually activate, and that'll figure out whether or not it was a successful call. And it should have one of those two outputs, regardless of what happens in the call. Even if it's like immediately over, that should happen. And so what we're going to have here is just update a record for, or actually we'll name the filters first. So successful call. Unsuccessful call. It's a bit of a misleading name. It could be a successful call and the client just wasn't like a good fit for your company or whatever. But either way, it works. Then we go into, this is where the interested field comes in. Go to Airtable. I think I can bring this up. Go to update a record. You're going to use the key from one sec. There you go. You're going to update a record. You're going to use the key from this data store here, the record ID, and that'll be the one that you created record in. So it'll be that record, and then update the interested to forgot to change that too. So put that in. So we go with the Gmail module, send a new mail. Alright, so I'm back with the whole email. This will all be in the description, so don't pause and type all this out. But basically, this is just a little send out message that the sales team, or in this case your bot, would send out, so they can click a link and go on the Calendly and set up a meeting with you or your business partner in this email. But it doesn't matter too much if you have the Calendly link or not. Just copy everything, put your own link in if you have a Calendly account. And if not, I'm not going to go too in depth about that. But yeah, that's how you do it. And then also you want to add an email address. It would be down to variable values, hit email. And also right in here, it'll be a blank spot. You can get rid of that. Go down here, hit first name, and that works. And after you're done setting all that up, also, yeah, make sure you have the email address. It's pretty important. Otherwise, it won't send the right email. And almost forgot, you do need to set up your Google restricted connection with your Gmail. So to do all of that is a whole process. I'm just going to link a timestamp in Liam Otley's video when he goes through it. Or another video if it's like an easier way to do it. But basically, there's a whole process if you have a Gmail account. If you just have a regular account, or like a business email, that works, or a Hotmail, I think. But if you have a Gmail, there's like a whole process to set this thing up. So a lot easier if you don't. But yeah, I'll link another video to go through that because that is the whole process. Alright, so how I fixed the email that wasn't working is I just added another connection in, and again, it's the whole process. It does show you when you're trying to add an account. You can go to this guide and follow it. If you don't want to follow whatever video or timestamp I put in for Liam Otley's video, you can always just do that and go to this guide, and it gives you a step-by-step on how to make it, so you can sign in with your Google account. And yeah, that'll do it for you. That's how I fixed it. But once you got that up and running, then you just want to add another module in, do Airtable. You want to update a record, and then this is just for my interested field that I added in. Make sure I'm on the right account here. Qualification voice assistant. Go on. And then just put the record ID in from your data store. Forgot to change that too. So put that in, and that should have all the information you need. And now I'll just go put it through a little test run and show how it works, the final product. Alright, so we're just going to do a test run here, all the processes that are going on. So we're going to start from the fill out forms. So we just put in Josh, whatever you want there. Then I'll put in actual email. So I could show the actual email at the end, that what you'd send to clients. Alright, searches the record, and now it's making the call.
Hey, Petal AI, is now a good time to talk about your business needs?
Yeah, it is.
Great, thanks for taking the time to chat. Can you tell me a bit about your business? What industry are you in, and how big is your team?
Yeah, we're in the debt collection industry. Team of about 10 people.
Thanks for that. Sounds like a tight-knit team. Could you give me a quick outline of the AI solution you're interested in getting built for your business? What kind of problem are you hoping it will solve?
We're just hoping it will solve efficiency in the teams and just
Got it.
things like that.
Got it. Efficiency is key, especially with a smaller team. Right now, we're focusing on projects that can be built and delivered on the agented platform. This approach helps reduce development hours and saves costs for you. Is the solution you're looking for something like a chatbot?
Yep.
Perfect. I'll email you a link to book a call with Josh, our COO here at Petal AI. He'll dive deeper into your project, ask more specific questions, and help determine feasibility and rough costs to get you the results you're after. I'm really excited to see how your call goes. Have an awesome rest of your day.
You too. Okay, bye. Then it should send a webhook after the call's done. Yep, right there. And then I may just redo that because scenario, I think the email has to be set up correctly again because it happens every once in a while. Alright, so there was the email working. It went through the data store, it stored all the points. And then it detected that successful call or the success evaluation equals true. Sent out the email. And then it updated the field, put a screenshot of that up. And yeah. Alright guys, I'll throw a screenshot up now so you can see what the email looks like. You'll notice it pulls in the first name from the form, and you can customize the other placeholders if you want. That's it for this tutorial though. Your build should be working if you follow along step by step. If you run into any issues, drop a comment below and I'll do my best to help out. Answer any questions. All the formulas and the copy and paste snippets are in the description. I'll put some timestamps next to them to show you where to use them. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button if the video was helpful at all.